Hello everybody, welcome to another YouTube video. I'm Robelle Autonomy, and today we're looking at a new Zenless Zone Zero, the animation, trailer, whatever you want to call it. Hope you're all having a happy holidays, and in Zenless, clearly they're jumping right into it, giving us, on Christmas Eve, they're giving us a whole short film for Shunguang. It's a whole 9 minutes long, which means we got half an anime episode here, which that is already insane, right? You guys gotta understand, when you see these gacha games get these long trailers like this, it's like insane to me because they make the character with like a 3D model, at least for these like high-end ones, right? They make this high-end 3D character model that's so detailed, filled with all these details, and it's like you would never animate this in 2D animation, but then they just go and do that anyways for they go and do that for in their trailers because I don't know, they just like to make animating hard, I guess. Like the complex character designs, then you guys gotta understand, right? If you're drawing at, it's not 24 FPS, it's usually 24 FPS on 2, so about 12 FPS, right? 12 frames per second. If they're animating like 12 FPS, alright, 24 FPS on 2s, so every other frame, that's a whole new drawing, right? That's 12 drawings a second. Which, I mean, you can infer that just from the phrasing, but when your character is this detailed, it's like, that's crazy. You know what I mean? That's crazy. So without further ado, let's hop right into this. As per usual, my reactions, we spend a lot of time going over stuff frame by frame, and pausing, and looking at the lore, and looking at the animation techniques, and then after all that is done, then we hop in and watch it all in one go without pausing. That's how we like to do things around here because, well, one, I like making really transformative content, and two, I just really like going over stuff. Like, I can't contain my excitement. I have to pause it and then like look over it frame by frame. It's literally just a mental thing. Anyways, without further ado, let's hop right into it. Oh my goodness, here we go. Let's see what they bring to the table. Oh my goodness, alright, Fantasia Animation. I have no idea who these guys are. Actually, give me 1 second, I'll do some research. Okay, I see. This is the Fantasia Animation. This studio is the one that does all the Honkai Star Rail 2D animated charts. And if you... I may roast Honkai Star Rail for how it does tower creep and how it does story, but if there's one thing that they're like absolute gods at, it's their flipping trailers. The Honkai Star Rail trailers are actually next level. They are insane. So that kind of sets the bar here. Let's see what this brings to the table. Alright, very nice. Hang on, there you go. By the way, this should be clear, but we'll just make it very, very extra clear. When you see characters holding photos of a character, it's like, babe, the animators didn't draw that over and over and over again for every frame. That is like, it's a thing added in post. They probably just drew a square with the square inside, and then whoever was in the compositing stage, they went and put in a picture of each one. Of course, that drawing of each one is drawn, of course. But it's a copy and pasted thing. And again, alright, this is so detailed, guys. Like, look at her flipping arm sleeve things. There's holes in it. And you can see the seam lines. There's so much extra stuff here. Not, of course, this is the stuff that's moving. This stuff isn't moving, so this isn't like, you know, way more work. You just draw her legs and the cloth in the middle one time. And then they animate the hands on top of that as a separate layer.
Senior Fufu?
Oh, I just realized what's happening. Oh, I'm actually so sad right now. She has pictures of everyone because she's so scared of forgetting. Oh my goodness. Alright, now I'm immediately depressed.
Senior Inho?
She's trying to like remember them. It's like memory cards. Oh, it's flipping studying cards. You got the picture of them and she's saying their name and then checking the back to make sure she got it right. Oh, wait, and she even asked half of her brother. This is already like this board. We're 24 seconds in. I'm already depressed. Oh no. I like how they have this. You can't tell if it's Belle or Wise because they both kind of have that short hair. And the way they drew the hair, it's a little bit windy in this photo. So you can't actually tell who it is. I mean, it looks kind of like Belle because you can kind of see like the light from the tree here. It creates this little orange part right here, so it looks like Belle's blue hair clip. But you can also construe it as just, you know, the light is bouncing off of it and it's wise. That they did a really good job of like making this character either or. And she's not going to be able to tell who it is because of her memories or they're being sacrificed for her power. Oh my goodness. Look how beautiful she is. The drawing, the art. Now I know anime tend to have like very detailed eyes. But like it's really, really nice to see eyes where they're very clearly hand-drawn. There's not like a billion layers of compositing on them. Of course there is compositing on them. When you draw like 2D animation, you very much see like, they look like stickers, they're flat, and then they go to the compositing phase, the editing phase, and they added a bunch of bloom, a bunch of lighting, and that really, really brings out, like, it makes the image feel more cohesive, but, you see them go overkill with the eyes all the time in all kinds of anime. Now, I'm not saying this lighting at the edge here is, you know, not hand-drawn in. It might be added in post, it could be either or, but I think it's just hand-drawn in there. But these little lights from the leaves, right? The lights from between the leaves, this is added after. That's not drawn in there. That's its own lighting layer that they added after. And luckily, we don't have to go crazy frame by frame over that much yet. It's pretty straightforward, lots of very still shots. Okay, no, we're going over this frame by frame. Alright, so this is really cool because we have the bell here and they show that it's ringing. Like, it's such a subtle thing here for its movement. And you can tell by the line art. Well, actually, no. I'm not sure. It does look like they drew it. Like they just traced over it and then the tiny, tiny, minuscule variations give the illusion that the bell is ringing out. But I'm looking at this one little tiny dot of a line right here, and if we go over it frame by frame, that dot is not changing. Oh no, it is! It's moving ever so slightly. They did indeed just trace it. And then that's why it's literally not moving, but it's moving. It's such a small thing. Now, what they could do is they could have just, you know, copied and pasted it and then like put a filter over the second one to kind of wiggle the lines a little bit. But I find when animations do that, it feels wrong. It doesn't have that authenticity that you have from redrawing everything from scratch.
Memories. They're like photographs losing their color, fading a little more each day.
Oh my goodness, this is already so sad.
Remember what I just...
And so, wait a minute. Holy moly, the flippin' captions they look like regular anime subtitles. What the heck? You really nobody on YouTube it's like the white text with the black bar. But here it's like regular anime subtitles. Oh my goodness, this poor girl, she looks so lost. They're drawing her really cute, like it looks way more moe than normal. Speaking of that, just looking over that concept, right? I am so enamored and impressed with Shunguang's design, because typically when it comes to these characters in Zenless Zero, I tend to lean towards liking the characters that are cuter rather than the characters that are hotter, right? But Shunguang is this character that is like a perfect blend of being very like seductive in her design, but she's also really, really cute. And I really find and how round her eyes are, how round her face is. And that she has this outfit that's very, very provocative. It's really just an impressive design. Like, you don't find many characters in most anime that kind of have this good balance of cute and kind of, you know, attractive. But with Shunguang, they've got the balance really, really good. Even in the Zenless Zone Zero cast, the character either tends to lean towards being, you know, fanservice-y, seductive, hot, or they're leaning towards being cool, or they're leaning towards being cute. Having a blend of multiple of those elements is typically quite rare. Like, or like maybe funny is also another thing. Like I'd say Billy is funny and also really cool, right? He's a cool character. Or you could be Yishuan, right? She's a character that is, for the most part, just very seductive, very hot. I mean, of course, all the characters are attractive as well. Though when you look at like the characters that are cute, like let's say, who's someone that's cute? I'd say Musi, right? That's a cute character. She doesn't really lean towards like super duper hot or like super duper cool. She's more cute. Of course her outfit is it leaves a lot of leg exposed, but I find that, yeah, there's a lot less fan service there, and it's more that she's just an adorable character with how over the top she is and controlling she is. So when you see a character like Shunguang, I'm just impressed with her design. I went off on a tangent there, my bad. And 1 second here. Alright, so we have one of those rounded mirrors, and so they drew her in perspective. At least I presume so. Yeah. Yeah, they did. So this is like not... They didn't draw her and then put a filter over it, because for that to work, you'd have to have a 3D model. So it looks like the artist is really talented at drawing this kind of fisheye perspective that you see in these rounded mirrors. It looks really good. I am curious if they took her actual 3D model and then put that through a fisheye filter in something like Blender or maybe one of their other 3D programs and used it as a reference. Obviously, they did not trace it. If they did do something like that, just because there's a lot of aspects here that are very much like artist's eye only. They would have had to go off model for stuff like that. Like, for example, seeing her red ribbon back here, it's very small over here. It is very, very big. That is a, sign of perspective that is more artist skill rather than something that computers tend to replicate very well. Now, computers can replicate different perspectives. They can get a different POV, I guess is what we would call it in the gaming space. But for the most part, when stuff is usually equal distance, it's hard to separate them in size. So this is like really impressive. Now, I will say I can see why this is 9 minutes long now. They're relying on a lot of still shots to really extend this. It's a lot of it is reminiscing the character, thinking to herself, and so she's just standing here. And they're adding little speckles of movement, like for example, you see the dust in the air that's moving around, and then the sparkles in her eyes. The little reflection, that part is flickering a little bit, so you can see that, but the rest of it is a still image. And then they're adding a slow camera zoom to make it feel like it's moving.
But I can't.
I'm gonna point this out now. There's so many shots in anime where they extend their playtime. Because again, getting 20 minutes of drawings is very hard, especially if you're animating at 24 FPS on 2s or 12 frames per second, which it's not exactly 12 frames per second, it's 24, but may space them out to like save time and space. And also they can mess with the timing by like all of a sudden increasing the frame rate or even decreasing it. But you'll find in anime all the time, to save time, to save effort, it'll be still images of maybe one thing moving. So in this case, it is Jafufu's tail that's moving. And then I think Panyan who is opening and closing his mouth. And then what they do is they'll just camera pan. And so there's barely any animation here, but it's fully animated because these characters have been brought to life. Even though it's just like one thing that's moving, the camera pan gives everything life.
But I can't tell.
Like that's so good.
They definitely cannot find out.
And then they added some bugs to this light over here just to make it feel more alive. God, oh my goodness, I feel so bad for this character. I'm also like baffled about how they're gonna animate this when she moves around later in the trailer. Well, I'm assuming she moves around later in the trailer, right? Surely it's not 9 minutes of still shots. But like this part of her outfit is like a see-through... It's like a see-through mesh. So I'm kinda like, there's no way.
I can't.
How are they gonna animate that? It does already look very good. Like you can see through it a little bit, which is kind of... That's kind of crazy, because that's like, that's drawn in there, and then I'm guessing they fix it in compositing. They give the effect in compositing. That's okay. We're gonna go back again. Gosh dang, there were already 13 minutes out. I gotta look at this though. I'm going forward. Hang on. My bad. Alright. The way they animate the smoke is so mystical. Like, this is not how you animate smoke normally. But they drew the same shape and then kind of painted over it. And then it's like the opacity is lower. That's really curious. And it's a really cool effect.
I write down everything that happens every day.
What is she wearing? Well, no, that's her regular outfit, I think. It's just darker.
Just
Her
like
outfit is
before.
so high cut. Like,
The early morning train.
everyone was making fun of like, Jafufu and Nishuan and Lucia. And I guess sorta Yidhari. I think Yidhari's hurt. They're making fun of them for their shorts. The high cut shorts. The high cut booty shorts. All the characters are wearing it, and then they were like, fine, we're not doing that again. And then they just made it like the highest the highest waist, like, leg hole thing you've ever seen on Shunguang. It's crazy to me.
Means foraging.
Oh my gosh, you're so cute. I am so curious to see how Jafufu and Shunguang's like relationship is, because like they're very. I view the Yokai Summit members very much as like family, especially the core members, right? And so like Shunguang has her brother Yisiwan, but I'm so curious to see like how her and Jafufu interact, because Fufu here, she's a character that, you know, she has a little bit of a inferiority complex when it comes to her height. She wants to be, you know, the cool senior that everyone looks up to, because she is the eldest, the eldest, or not the eldest, she's the senior sister. So maybe she's not the oldest, but she has been at the temple the longest. But I'm like, so of course we have Shunguang, who has her nickname Zhao Guang, and Zhao means small. So we kind of have the characters refer to her as Small Guang, because she is the younger of the, well, she is just a small of the Yi siblings. She's the younger of the Yi siblings, so she is Yi Shunguang, but she's Shunguang, she's Small Guang. And so I'm curious to see like what their relationship was like, because when Val or Wise, when they called her senior, she was so ecstatic and so happy. And so I wonder, like, what is their dynamic? Like, is Fufu like, I am the senior, haha, or is she as caring to Shunguang as she is for Belle and Wise? Because for Belle and Wise, Fufu really does go out of her way to make sure that they're, you know, they're comfortable. And even going as for watching, maybe it was more Pan Yinhu and Yisiyuan, but like, Fufu in the beginning of the 2.0 story, at the beginning of season 2, she was willing to eat moldy bread for us. And I feel like that, you know, that really raised her up in my, you know, and how fond I was of her. And I'm wondering if she does the savory Shunguang.
Enjoying hot springs.
Holy moly, Fatarus. Alright, we're gonna go back just because I want to look at the background, because I wasn't looking at that. I was distracted. You can see it's like made with like pencil crayons almost, or maybe even just crayons themselves. But I think the background is like fully pencil crayon, and then they have the characters that are, you know, our typical 2D animation. It's very interesting. Also, oh my goodness. That is crazy fan service they got going on here. I feel like, oh, this is just, I don't want to point it out too much, but I really feel like Shunguang here, I feel like she's supposed to be more well endowed than this, but maybe this is like way in the past and everyone here is a lot younger. Also, her hair, I don't know if it's just like the way they have the scene, but her hair is actually turning white here, and she's completely red. Or she's like blushing completely. Her face is very flushed, so it makes me think that like she is well, clearly we had the 3 sticks. I don't know what's going on. Maybe they're playing a game and she's flustered, and so it looks like parts of her, you know, her alter ego are actually leaking out, and that just so she suppresses them. Nice. So just looking at this now. Let's move on forward. This is feeling like a Fupin Jafufu trailer to me, because she is like stealing the show at every frame. She's actually too cute for her own good. She is so much smaller than Shunguang. Look at this family. What is... Okay, no, never mind. That's Pan Yinhu's hat. I was like, what is this thing? That's his hat. That's his wok, his pot for cooking. I thought it was like a turtle shell for a second. I mean, it does look very much like one, and it made me curious for a second if they were hinting at like a turtle fire or something.
All the moments I spent with everyone, they're so precious to me.
She is so scared of losing her memories. Oh my goodness, the expressions in this are so good. Like, this is such a subtle thing. Like, you're not pushing the expression to the extreme here. The eyebrows are straight with a very, very, very slight curve. The way they're doing her mouth, it's extra detailed.
They'll never come again.
Oh, I feel so bad for her. Oh, it's time. It's time to sacrifice her memories. That's what heroes do. I'm forced to use the sword. Now look at all the members of Yokai Summit.
All thanks to the wielder of the Qingming sword.
Alright, now, this is just because my memories of it are a little detailed. So you guys could let me know. I would love to just kind of refresh you or remind you. But was when Yishuan's no, not Yishuan, when Yishuan's sister, when she lost her memories and her sense of self to the Xingming sword, was that like made public? Does the rest of the temple know that she lost her memories to the sword? Or was it just she died a hero and they didn't, tell anyone that the Xingming sword actually has this crazy downside? Because everyone's celebrating here, but it's like... they're celebrating as if they don't understand the downsides of it. Also, the sword having the flippin' skill button built into it is funny.
I've been protected my whole life. And now, I can finally protect everyone too.
This is honestly, it's such an interesting story beat for this character, especially because they've been building her up for a couple patches now. Which that kind of slow development is very interesting. Seeing this internal conflict where she wants to help everyone, but no matter what, it's always at her own cost. And it's not even like the hero sacrifices themselves for the people in the normal sense. It's like, no, literally using her powers, it ruins her. So, seeing her, always constantly step up to the plate to save the day, even though it's a guarantee she's going to lose something. It's interesting to see this kind of internal conflict in this character.
Still pretending.
Oh shoot, here we go.
You know exactly what's going to happen if you keep this up. There has to be another way.
So, in the live stream, maybe it was spoilers, maybe it wasn't. But they were saying that her internal self, or not maybe the internal self, but the white-haired version of Shunguang, that also was indeed her, and I assume this is her because she has the horn from her form change, which we have seen in the story already. But it does make me curious, they're both the same person, but one has been sealed up, and so when it manifests, it comes out all the more powerful. So I'm curious to see how they handle this dynamic, because it's not just a simple dual personality.
Haven't noticed? It's not just your memory. Your vision, hearing, sense of smell.
Your sense of self loses.
Touch.
You lose that, I mean.
Every one of your senses is slowly...
That's so scary! That's 10 times worse than just losing your memories. It's one thing to lose your memories, but then you lose your sense of touch and your sense of taste, and then so you're in the... they said that you become a hollow shell that's not even alive really. That's she's experiencing that in real time, right? So I can't even imagine how bad it was for Yishuan's sister.
Way, all for this needless sense of duty. Is it really worth it?
And it's really interesting to me. Normally when you have an inner demon monologue, right? It's a character that berates the character. It's somebody that is constantly, driving them mad, but the internal conflict in Shunguang, right? This is not like that. It's not somebody that's, bringing her down. This person is worried for her. This inner being is, trying to protect her. She's like, are you sure it's worth the cost? This is, it's not going to end well if you do it this way. And you can see it on their expression. That's so good. No, not dropping the journal.
My senses are fading away until death.
I am really curious if Yishuan has actually seen her in her moments of if he's seen her sister in her moments of weakness, because clearly she's obviously anyone observing sees how worried she is about losing her memories and stuff. So I'm curious. Maybe this is what's driving him, because he is so into trying to find a way to separate her from the sword. And there's no way he's worried just because he knows of the sword's effects. I bet he's seen how worried she actually is without her realizing. And that's why he's so adamant about trying to separate her from the sword. Look at the group photo. I am so curious on why they refused to show Phaeton's face. Everyone else is like, they're remembering, but Phaethon is like, they're fading from her memories. I don't know if it's a directorial thing or if it's like... Because like, we know what the characters look like. They don't... And they're not trying to like keep it like, oh, maybe it's Wise or Belle. It's like both of them are there. Alright, what was that? What was this? They couldn't like slide her across? She's just running in place? Alright, you know what? I'll give you guys a pass because the rest of this has been gorgeous. Or maybe it's training. Maybe she's just running in place. They couldn't slide it across like this, or like shrink it down a little bit and then slide it across while growing it slowly to make it look like she's coming from back there. The bottom is literally covered in my flowers. I'm so curious. That probably was their intent, but then somebody along the timeline forgot. Fully detail. Now this is such a detailed scene. All those flowers, you can tell that they're drawn. But what's interesting is, well, the only part they really needed to animate are these butterflies and her hand here. So it's so detailed because the rest of it's not moving. And they added dust particles as well. They're getting by using like these tricks to like extend the playtime and just use still animations. What is with Belle Wise Ghost? What is happening? Who is that? Oh wait, no, that is us. That's Phaethon there. Why are we being forgotten first? That's not fair. Forget them first. I'm the one that's trying to... I'm trying to be cover number one. What do you mean that they're getting forgotten last? I flippin' Phaethon's already faded from her memories and it's just a white ghost. Oh my goodness. We played Mahjong together? That's crazy. Not the 2 frames. I see why this is 9 minutes now. They're doing all this like still frame stuff. Now again, and this is a part that's interesting, I still think it counts as animation because it is giving these characters life, right? To animate is to bring life to that which is inanimate. And so, when you see this, right, by moving the camera, by drawing the character in 2 positions, 2 different positions, that's all it takes. I'm like, that's animation. Because that character now feels alive to me. Just that. Boom, animated, baby. Alright, new slipping HD bubbles. What am I looking at? Why are we being forgotten? Oh no, not the movie. But if you didn't hear that, that movie was diabolical. They added a whole hand-holding scene. I was like, oh my goodness. Now, it did make me a little... I'm a little wondering about this, or I'm a little curious about this. I'm trying not to say curious too much because I've been spamming out this entire video. But Shunguang, when she was reading her handbook at the end of 2.4, minus spoilers, but it looked like she couldn't even read names. Like the names were not registering in her head, even though she was staring directly at them. So I'm curious if it's not just like, oh, you're forced to forget, but like your ability to perceive anything related to that person which is so important to you, if that's slowly getting erased as well. Which, I mean, that definitely feels like it's the case, but I would like to see them confirm it.
Brother, do you remember the song Mom used to sing to us when we were little?
This character, everyone called him an NPC only for him to be like goated beyond all reason. I'm really, really hoping he somehow ends up playable, but I'm like, I'm losing hope, guys. I'm losing hope. Please! Be her like BIS support. Actually, no. No, please don't be her BIS support. And the reason I'm like, don't be her best in slot support is because she's releasing with already a very strong team. I'm going to assume she's going to release and be OP. And so if they make her stronger, I'll be worried for the game's balance, if that makes sense. But this is all assumptions again, right? Like when Yishuan came out, everyone was like, oh, she is the next Miyabi. But she wasn't. She wasn't the next Miyabi until Lucia came out and elevated her numbers to being a little bit past Miyabi. But even then, I would argue that it's like, it's still balanced. Because even though her overall DPS is higher, her AoE is a lot smaller. and her team flexibility is a lot less. So I'd say like, you know, it has this kind of equal value proposition in terms of like meta balancing. But Shunguang is now our third. She's our second Void Hunter, but she is our third of like the major meta characters. Like the characters are getting this extra special treatment. Like Yishwanfi, she's not a Void Hunter as much as people want to say that, but she is Void Hunter level and her rank is Grandmaster, which is of the same power level as a Void Hunter. Which is, you know, it's kind of annoying in terms of like, you know, listing out lore. Because, you know, everyone just like, well, in Genshin, they're all just Archons. And in Star Rail, they're all just Emanators. And in Mother Waves, they're all just Sentinel Resonators. But in, like, Zenless Zone Zero, it's kind of like this mix of lore where it's like, okay, well, this one's a Void Hunter, and this one, she's Void Hunter level. So she's the same power level, but she's not a Void Hunter. And now we have our third one entering the mix, our third special unit. And so it's kind of like, I hope they keep it balanced. Like, of course I want her to be strong for the sake of my account, because I will be pulling. But I also kind of hope that they don't power creep too much. Because like, I mean, Zenless Zone Zero devs have shown they want their characters to be future-proof, at least to a very certain extent. They want, you know, you to be able to use your characters in the long run, because having characters that work with future characters means that you're more likely to go after the future characters, and I think we've come to understand that. But I'm really curious. I want to know how they balance Shunguang. Is she going to be stronger than Miyabi? And if she is, then they better make her team like super limited, like super duper restrictive. But then like that's not fun though if it's so restrictive, right? Like Miyabi is awesome because you can throw her on almost any team. And Yishuan is, I'll be honest, I don't know the appeal of her power. I really don't. It's like, she's not single target, she does have AoE. And do EX skill properly. But then you have to use your Fufu, and you have to use Lucia, but now you have to use Dialing, and then it's like you gotta spam all your resources in the stun window. And it's like all that just to get a 20k in Deadly Assault. Okay, not actually. I think I scored like 35k last time, so I think she's still plenty strong. This song is gonna hit when you watch it through without hitting pause. Oh, who's dragging the sword? Oh no, she's wandering through the darkness. She's just, oh, it's her dance to the end. So it's like, it's a performance. She is fighting until she can no longer fight. This is like her internal battle.
I have to protect everyone. But
Oh, that is actually that's so tragic. And you know, her like will to protect everyone stems from the fact that she had a very rough upbringing, right? She lost her parents, and so she was raised by just her brother. And so, yeah, she grew up because somebody couldn't protect her. And so she grew up in this very stressful, very, you know, uncertain future. And she grew up in a very, how do you phrase this? She grew up in a very stressed childhood with an uncertain future, and so now she is so determined to protect everything she has gained, but it's coming at the cost of everything she's protecting. So this is like, it's a tragedy that's just bound to happen. Like, there's no escaping it.
so familiar.
Now, I am curious how they're gonna Disney ending our way out of this one. Like, I assume my guess is Ishii sacrifices himself and then like fixes the sword or something, so that the sword stops stealing memories. But I don't know. I don't like that idea. I would like them to figure something else out. Like, obviously this is gonna have a happy ending, where if it doesn't have a happy ending, my respect for the writing will go up tenfold. I doubt it though, because everyone loves this character so much. Which is why they should erase her memories and leave us in full despair mode. And then the one that we're pulling for in the banner is actually not her, but it's her after her memories are reset, and then she doesn't remember us, and so it's a whole new person.
Are they?
Oh no, not the photos from the beginning of this. Sorry, I just had to pause here and there because I keep getting interrupted. No, not the tears. This is definitely a lot more, it's not like a crazy super action-packed short film, and I like that. Not everything has to be crazy 10 out of 10, like Jujutsu Kaisen fighting animation. Sometimes this more somber stuff hits. Like, I really, really loved the Seed trailer. Or the Seed animation. The Seed animation Seed short film. I'm such a big fan of that shot. Like, the cinematography here is really, really good. Having her, like, ghost self, like, slowly fall, and then she lets go of her last memory. Oh, but it's caught by herself.
Your mind is blank, and you remember nothing. What's the point of a sacrifice like this? It's okay. I know.
Okay.
I've made it this far safe and sound, so there must be someone watching over me.
Oh, that is... If this were anything except Zenless Zone Zero, that would literally be like the ultimate death flag. That would be like the ultimate death flag in like any anime. Any character that's like, I am good so far, I'm not gonna die, they die immediately. Like, that's how it goes. But the thing is, this is Hoyoverse. They don't kill their playable characters. That just doesn't happen. The only time it happened was in Honkai Impact like 10 years ago. Like, even Honkai Star Rail, who's like, they kill characters all the time, but then actually they didn't kill them, and they keep retconning it. Or not even retconning it, they keep, like, doing some crazy, like, science malarkey to prevent them from dying. So they're like, oh, they died in the dream, and it's like, okay, well... So they didn't die then, they're still roaming around the universe. And they're like, but actually, their sense of self got obliterated. And they were reborn anew, so they actually did die, and I'm like, I don't know about that one. And they're like, Firefly will experience 3 deaths! And I'm like, okay, alright, fine.
Even if I can't remember who they were or what they did for me, I can still feel it in my heart, the happiness they left behind.
Okay, so she's very much a character that's just okay with the results of her sacrifice. It scares her, but like, as long as everyone is safe, it's a sacrifice she's willing to make. That's very tragic. I am curious, because like, the way that the backlash of the sword works is you lose your sense of self completely, right? Taste, touch, smell, sight. So it's like, you're not just forgetting the people around you, you can't just make new memories. Your body is actively suffering, you're suffering whiplash from the usage of this weapon.
You fool! You're just lying to yourself because you lack the courage to defy your own fate. No, that's not true. I know that one day...
See, I'm so into the fact that her other self is not just the classic like anime, like your inner demon is parading you, and like, and not to throw shade at Hugo from season 1, okay, because like clearly his character was handled fantastically, right? Having the inner demon and coming to terms with himself, like that was a really cool interaction, and typically that is, you know, the formula for this. But to have the other sense of self be something that's completely worried for you, and it's trying to self-preserve itself.
Smell, taste, or even feel anymore. But I also know there are people I love, and I'm being loved by them.
You know, just while we're on the topic of this, alright? You wanna know humanity's biggest tragedy? I heard this in a TikTok quote. Alright, I'm about to hit you all in the feels. The biggest tragedy of all of humanity is no human will actually know how much they're loved. You can think you know, but you don't know how much you are loved. And that is the biggest tragedy. You might think you're not loved, and then maybe there's someone that enjoys your presence. Maybe there's someone from 5 bajillion years ago in your past that misses you on an occasion, and you just never see them again. So, I agree kind of with the storytelling they're going here. She's saying that she knows she's loved, she doesn't know how much, but she's okay with that.
They protected
So I'm gonna point out this weird, interesting detail. So all the line art is white, right? As you can see here. Except for her mouth and her nose. And you know why that is? It is for clarity. It is an artistic decision They could have made those white, but it wouldn't read as well because, you know, that's the shaded part of the anime nose there, so it has to be darker. And then the mouth is just a really detailed thing, but also that's like a very bright part of her ghost face. So making the light on white there would make it stick out less.
By them. They protected me.
Well, she's restoring her form.
I'm trying to protect them. That's
What is happening? What is... Someone like started animating with crayons. What is happening? Well, one, the bitrate is cooked. I wish I had YouTube. Like, I had the YouTube increase here. Never mind, there is no better bitrate on YouTube. But like, that's like... I'm assuming it's a crayon brush that they're animating this with. You can see like the texture and like the graininess of the like the crayons or the pencil crayons that are happening here.
That's why. I'm
Golden hair, guys.
the wielder of the Qingming
They're in
sword.
form.
Even if it costs me everything in the end, I don't mind. No one's going to remember you, let alone thank you.
Oh, I don't know. Okay, that's some inner demon cope right there. I feel like everyone would thank her, but they would also be completely and utterly distraught that she's gone. Because clearly, if you look at the beginning, she is so beloved by her fellow disciples.
Perhaps, but it doesn't matter to me.
And lots of very simple animation, but my goodness, this stuff is so effective. So if I had to guess, they animated a loop of her like doing this T-pose. She's Jesus posing. And then they just, you know, they zoomed out. Actually, wait, let's see. Did they fully animate from... Oh, never mind. I saw the looping animation. All that is completely different drawings. Never mind. And then they had someone going crazy with the flipping crayons on top of it to I show the light is exiting out of her body. I don't know. The light is coming from her. Inside her is the light that will dominate the darkness.
That's all there is to it.
Oh, guys, the bitrate is dying. Help me. But it's all pixels. You can see the pixels. Oh my goodness, the YouTube bitrate cannot handle this. This is really pretty low, I have to admit. Well, I guess like from a cinematography standpoint. And it was all a dream. Oh my goodness, her flippin' PJs. She wears a dress up bed. I wonder if her tail... It's not coming from underneath the dress, so there's a tail hole in there. That is a very elaborate dress to wear to sleep.
It's the same dream again.
Shunguang, rise and shine!
Oh, we get to see more of that Sufu and Zhaoguang relationship. Here we go.
Always correct with her divinations. Senior Fufu.
No, she's
loves
trying to
meat
remember.
more than anything.
This is such like a...
Senior Inu
This is so despairing that she has to do this every day just to make sure she's not
cooks
forgetting
the best
anything.
meals. And brother, always so gentle and kind.
Why'd you forget Faithin? Why have I forgotten? Why do you only have one picture? Do you only care about one of us?
These are the people I want to protect.
Dang, she just moved on. She's like, I give up. I don't know who this is. She paused and she's like, yup, I don't know who that is. It's kind of good. It's so comedic. She's like, yeah, I give up. That's like the trying not to laugh face right there. T is trying not to laugh. She gave up. She forgot us. I feel bad.
These are the people I want to protect. The people who I love very, very dearly.
Dang. That was a really, really nice animated short film. It didn't hit as hard as like... as Yishuan and as Miyabi's. Like, I feel like those short films were like... You know, they were like aimed to pull at the heartstrings because we witnessed death in them. And then that death happened in the short film. But here we're watching the character herself is slowly dying. And so there is like a tragedy and heartbreak in this. But it doesn't hit until you really think about it. And I think that's kind of the strength of this one. This is really, really good. I liked it. We didn't really have to go over it like crazy. I mean, okay, I extended a 9-minute video into 45 minutes. So my apologies. Let's watch over it. Let's watch over it without pausing. And like kind of get a feel for the music. Because maybe it's not hitting as hard because I've been pausing it constantly.
Senior Fufu.
This was such a pretty trailer though, like just the detail in the art. Of course they weren't like doing any crazy like action insane sequences, like it's not like Banyue's trailer where he's doing like triple flips and fighting like 50 mobs at the same time and then crushing them in a mountain and doing flips and kicking them into the air, then jumping into the air, kicking them back down. But this one had like it's a lot of still images, but those still images are so detailed, guys. And like even that they stole bits of animation here and there, so I think this is like, you know, equal amount of work, especially with its length.
They're like photographs losing their color.
Lots of environmental shots. It's so pretty.
I can't remember what I just said. Or the way home.
Dang, I didn't register the first time. She even forgets her way home? That's so scary. No wonder ECU1 is so worried for her, because like she probably shows up home late sometimes. And he's like, where were you? Oh my gosh. And keep in mind, he's like super overprotective. Because, like, he essentially raised her, right? Like, they're brother and sister.
I can't tell.
But they lost both their parents. And Yushiwon had to become the man of the house. He had to become the one that raised her. So he essentially took on a father role almost.
I write down everything that happens.
And so, like, he's probably supremely overprotective of her. So, like, it's not even just him trying to, like, you know, separate her from the sword to protect her memories and such. But he's probably even more worried because she just disappears sometimes and it shows up home late. Another layer to Ishiwon's depth as a character.
They'll never come again.
This sibling duo is handled so good. I'm actually such a big fan of this. People complain about having family members die too much, so instead they made it more like internal. They're working on internal tragedy now. Although I would argue that like characters dying in the Zenless Zone Zero universe is like a normal thing though, because we're not post-apocalypse, we're mid-apocalypse. Everyone's dying all the time. The Hollows are eating all of humanity and we're losing horrendously. Like it is such a losing fight. I have no idea how anyone in this universe has any hope whatsoever.
Still pretending. You know exactly what's going to happen if you keep this up.
I also love her other half. Like in the few bits of trailer we've seen and a little bit of footage we've seen from the live stream, the other half, it's like the other half of Shunguang, we see her and she's like seductive and, you know, very almost Yandere-esque in her portrayal. But seeing that like actually it's like, you know, it's really leaning on that self-preservation. It's really trying to protect her from herself and it's worried for her, and that's so interesting. And then at the end there where it gets upset, like that's frustration. It's like, why wouldn't you sacrifice yourself? And that means you sacrifice me too, that's not fair.
My senses are fading away until death.
I am so curious why they're trying to like blank out Faith in spaces. What is the significant meaning of that? If you guys know, let me know in the comments. I would love to hear your theories. This shot, I feel like somebody messed up. Why was she running in place? I think she's supposed to be running for the back, but someone forgot to scroll her across the screen and like, someone forgot to like move her on a 3D plane or something to make it look like she was running towards the camera. And it's posted, it's too late. It's too late. I'm sure whoever was in charge of that is looking at it and they're like, no! I missed it! I messed up! Them including the movie event is diabolical. I know they didn't show it in the animation, but like, I mean, I guess it was player choice, so it wasn't guaranteed to happen. But like, I feel like most players grabbed her hand and they held hands during the movie. Because she was worried. Like, yeah, you want to comfort her, because this is a character we're so attached to. So this is such a sweet scene because of them singing together. And I don't know if this is like the voice actor was like just this detailed, but I really feel like maybe it's just the circumstances, the context of the scene. But it really does feel like there is a bit of hesitance and like worry in Issue 1 because we were asking like, you know the song? You know the song the mother like sang? Of course she's gonna sing it for her so that she can, you know, because it's an important part of their origin, their parents, right? They don't want to forget them. But also, he's probably worried because he's like, they're seeing in real time, and he's observant. He's a very observant character.
Are they?
He's seeing like how much he's forgetting. I like that, and I just realized that wasn't her clothes like ripping and like her getting slashed beginning, but like now it's her getting hit, and all the memories are flowing out of her as Neural falling on his photographs. That's why we watch it twice, guys. That's why we go super observant mode the first time, and then we pick out all the extra details on the second watch through. She's still holding on to one photo. She just has to hold on to it when it's cracked. It's ruined. And it's blank because she can't perceive what's on there. What a tragic character, but... I mean, whoever will give her a happy ending, right? Well, not an ending per se, because like... Flippin' as easy characters, once they reach their ending, they just show up in events later anyway, so it's not really an ending for them.
Nothing. What's the point of a sacrifice like this? It's okay.
This shock of her other self, when she's like, I know, it's okay, I've accepted this, I'm okay with this. And it's like, why are you okay with disappearing? Now, the other self is like, dead set on trying to fight fate. And I don't know if that's like, if that's the Xingming sword talking, or if that is her inner self. Her inner self, you know, her innermost thoughts that are like, actually, I do want to fight against it. I don't want to disappear. I don't want to be left behind.
You're just lying to yourself because you lack the courage to.
I mean, it has the demon horn from using the Xingming sword, so it is her other form, but...
I know that one day I'll forget.
That's such a sad phrase. It's not like one day I'll forget everything. She says, I know one day I will forget everything. Like, she knows it's inevitable.
But I also know.
And she just accepted it. Like, there is no fighting against fate in her mind. There is no fighting against fate in her heart. She's just like, I know. I'm going to lose everything.
They protected me.
But I also know that they love me, and that's enough for me.
That's why I'm willing to become the wielder of the Qingming sword. Even if it costs me everything in the end. I don't mind. No one's going to remember you, let alone thank you.
If they give this character like a proper spiritual death,
but it doesn't matter to me.
I mean, my heart will break, but I'll also be like this would elevate the ZZG story so high for me, because again, I've been saying this since another time, right? There's no stakes. We know we're gonna save the day in the end. And yet, may keep me guessing because I have hope that one day they'll actually do like a big plot twist and like throw us for a loop. But they haven't done it yet, and so far, every time they do like a character died, it's like completely fake. It's like, oh no, they're back immediately.
Always correct with her divinations.
And so whenever they like pretend to kill a character, like, you know, the player base just kind of rolls their eyes and they're like, oh cool, she's dead. But this is like a very odd traditional way of quote-unquote killing a character.
And brother, always so gentle and kind.
No, you can look at our photo. Also, the fact that there's only one Faith in photo is so funny to me. She does not care about the other sibling that she didn't meet in that one night. She's like, yeah, whatever. I only remember one of you.
Very dearly.
Alright, that was pretty good. There wasn't anything crazy where like I'm, you know, going losing my mind from this crazy action animation, which is kind of what ZZZ is known for. But I really appreciate that they went for something more story-driven, something more internal, something, you know, less action, less fast-paced. This was somber, it was slow. It really let all the feelings settle in, and I really, really like that. I appreciated this time. Because, like, if every single trailer is crazy action, then, you know, they don't really... It loses its impact because they're spamming it. So having a trailer that's just focused on being pretty and beautiful and somber and, you know, just seeing that internal struggle, I liked it a lot. I think they did a good job. I mean, I don't think this convinced anyone to pull her character as a trailer, and this is more just been the lore heads, right? And the people that really like the Shunguang and want the super animations of her. I think everyone is already convinced to pull her, just like based off of what we've seen already. Right, she's a character that is cute, she's attractive, she's probably gonna be OP because she's a void hunter. It's got everything the gacha players really signed up for, let's be real. So I feel like nobody's skipping her, and if you are skipping her, I commend you, I applaud you, I wish I was that strong because I know the Ages of Illusion are coming, and yet I'm still pulling for Shunguang. What a fake fan I am, but you know what, that's okay. I'll just swipe. I can't swipe normally, but and this time I will give it my all. Anyways, I guess that's the video, guys. I guess that is the video. Hope you enjoyed the reaction. Hope you, learned some stuff about animation, or even just like some stuff about directing and storytelling. Like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna point out one detail that I just noticed now. They have everything sliding to the left because that's how she's flipping in the pages of the book. And you can see they have the line art that's like inside a notepad. They have the lines for your notepad. So this is all like drawings. That's why it's drawn with crayons, because she's remembering the people and it's her stuff that she's written down. I didn't point this out the first time. But that's good directing, guys. Alright, pay attention. Pay attention to how they guide your eyes. It's always so good when you pay extra attention to stuff and you realize how much thought and intent is actually put into all these shots. It's not just making things pretty. It's all about guiding the player or the viewer's eyes and showing them a story. And that's what the directors do. That's what the writers do. That's what the artists do. Amazing work. Anyways, if you enjoyed the matches, give me a like, alright? If you watched this, if you watched a whole hour view back into a 10-minute video, you should probably give me a like, and also leave a comment down below. Are you gonna be pulling for Shunguang? Are you excited for her character? Are you excited to see where they take her? Do you think they're just gonna do the stereotypical route where we just save her in the end and she gets her memories back and there's no downside? Or do you think they might try to go for something a little bit different just to throw us off? I'm hoping for the latter, of course. Alright, just let me know down below in the comments. Let me know what you thought of this animated short film. Or maybe a whole 10 minutes almost. That is a whole... That's half an anime episode. Doing that just for a gacha character trailer is actually insane. That's like... That's so dedicated to the characters. And it's because the devs love their characters as much as we players do. And also, if you watched this far, then hit that subscribe button if you're somehow not subscribed. Lets me know that you guys enjoy the content, and also will let you know in the future if I upload more stuff. I cover all kinds of gacha games. Zenless Zone Zero. There's a bunch of way stuff that I have to cover, but I've been feeling a little under the weather. I was supposed to live stream the story by this point, but I've actually it's cold out and I'm feeling very under the weather. So if you're wondering why there's like weird pauses in this video, it's because I get interrupted by either that or somebody else. Anyways, with that one, hope you all had a good... Actually, wait. As remember, I also have the cover NT stuff and Silver Palace stuff. Oh yeah, there's too much gacha to react to. Anyways, you can subscribe if you want to see all that. I'll try my best to react to everything. This stupid shot of her running in place. Anyways, hope y'all are gonna remember to so I will see you all next time. Bye!